Mark's going to start.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming today. My name is Marc Perdue. I'm the Network Administrator at Prairie School of Education. And the reason we're here today, well, let me ask you a question first. Do any of you all actually have you worked on the ITS risk management plan? You've been part of that? Okay. That process for me was the motivation for this project. I was doing the plan, and I got to this place where it said, do you have all of your users scanned for SSNs, and could you verify that they've done it, or something like that? And I couldn't answer yes, because I had no way of actually documenting that people had actually done the scans. And I don't run a centralized system where I scan and then make them get rid of the SSNs or anything like that. So I was talking to Molly Pickrell about this, who's a software engineer who works at the library. And we came up with this plan, which she actually programmed. And it's this system that can be easily set up, that uses MySQL database and NetBed's authentication to have people confirm that they have done something. And in my case, it was SSN remediation. But it can be modified easily to be used for any kind of situation where you have something that you require your users to do, and you need them to sign off that they've done it. And it also can be used if you have a supervisor who you want to notify to ensure compliance. In my case, I tell my supervisor, you go to this web page, you can see who all has actually done the SSN scans, and you can contact the people that haven't, because I've already contacted them X number of times, and they still haven't done it. So I leave it to my boss, actually, to carry a big stick. Yes.
Oh, I was suggesting earlier today that he should offer door prizes. So everybody who's completed it by X date is eligible to win whatever great thing. And then, you could do it on a rolling basis. Like if you complete it within the first week, it'd be this really cool prize that you're eligible for. And then, the prizes go down in quality over the week.
Yeah. And if you're the last person to complete it, you
get the award of shame.
The award of shame. Yeah, the wall of shame. Plaque or something. So, do you want to?
Well, let's just show them what it looks like to use it as a user, and then what Mark sees as an administrator, and then we can talk about what it takes to set it up and install it. So, he very kindly added me as a user, one of the users earlier today. Oh, actually, you started with a website. It's separate from this. Right?
Right.
I don't know how to get that.
So, go to curry.virginia.edu. That's the Curry Schools webpage. We use a content management system, Expression Engine. And within our content management system, it's got a really cool feature called Resource Library. See right here, if you click on that, Molly. So I added some things to Resource Library. Could you type in identity finder? And I send out an email to all my users saying it's time to do the biannual SSN scans. Go to these pages, this page, to find the program install file and instructions for using it. And as you can see in my Resource Library, I have identity finder instructions for Mac and for Windows, and the program files for Mac and Windows, which you can't see the Windows version on there. So they have to go to this page, they have to get the instructions and read them, and at the end of the instructions, there is a link for when they are done scanning, and that link is to our system for documenting that they have actually completed the scan.
The cool thing about doing it this way is that Mark didn't send out all the instructions in email, because if you do that and something was wrong, and you got to send out more email. So I suggested to him, go ahead instead and put the instructions on a website and direct people to there, and then you can change it whenever you need to without having to spam people a lot.
So, Mark, are these instructions that you wrote, or are they?
Well, actually, they started with.
I stole them.
Yes, with permission.
With permission, because, there's no point in us reinventing the wheel.
Right.
And somebody else had actually already created some pretty nice documentation. That was Zeke Prater. And the first page of his documentation is a page from Madeline Wessel, who's an attorney for the library system. And she basically wrote a one-page justification of why you need to do this, why this is important. And so I contacted her and said, can I use this? And she said, it's university property, by all means. Yeah, have at it. And so I did, and I modified the library's instructions to be Curry specific. So we cut down on the amount of time and work that I had to do. Yeah. And that would download if you click on it. Oh, yeah, there.
Oh, I see their instructions.
Yeah, and that'll open in Word.
Now, we don't have a way to make people read this.
Right. That actually
that's the theory.
That's been the biggest problem that I've been running into. People will say, okay, I don't have time to actually read the instructions. Can you come here and do this for me? And I tell them, no, I can't. Because you're the only one that knows what data is on your machine. You're the only one that knows how to process that data, whether you need to keep it, whether you need to modify it, everything is really their responsibility. And so I push back to them and said, you really need to read the instructions and process the data according to the instructions and what you know about the data.
So here's this information about why you need to do it and what you need to do and screenshots of how to run it.
I'm just thinking if I turn mine on mute and you turned yours on it.
No, it's just that there's a delay and then I hear my own voice. So I just need to turn the volume down on my computer there. So
I keep scrolling down.
All right.
And I think step 13 is where it specifies the different kinds of actions that they need to take depending on what the data is. And so it's very, very important that they get to that portion of the instructions. So the instructions are clearly written. Then at 16,
step 16.
You've completed the scan, you've taken the appropriate actions, go to the following web page and click the submit button to affirm completion. This is part of the system. This is the application that Molly created and I modified.
So it's going to ask me to log in with NetBadge to identify myself. And I have to remember my password. Oh, no, you can't.
Right. So this page is very easily modifiable to put whatever kinds of documentation in there that you want to let people know what specifically they're signing off on. In this case, they're acknowledging that they have completed the scan on all of their computers on which they may have university-related or owns data, and that they've taken the appropriate action as specified in the instructions. So they have to put over the instructions. And by submitting this, they've logged into NetBadge.
Shall I submit it?
Go ahead.
Cool. I haven't actually done it. I'm lying.
And it says, thank you for completing it and for removing other highly sensitive data from your computer. It also sends them an email so that they have documentation that they did complete the scan and when they did it.
And it sends you email too, doesn't it?
No.
We
took that piece.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. In the database, there's a listing of usernames and
well, hang on. Let's
yes.
Can we show them that?
We'd have to open a different browser and have me log in.
That's what I was about to do.
Cool. HTTPS. Note that it's HTTPS. It's